Hello, welcome to Worship at Home in the Northampton Circuit. I'm beginning my speaking with reading the passage from Matthew, and it's teaching about anger and about the way we are with other people. You have heard that our ancestors were told, "You must not murder. If you commit murder, you are subject to judgment. But I say, if you are even angry with someone, you are subject to judgment. If you call someone an idiot, you are in danger of being brought before the court. And if you curse someone, you are in danger of the fires of hell. So if you are presenting a sacrifice at the altar in the temple, and you suddenly remember that someone has something against you, leave your sacrifice there at the altar. Go and be reconciled with that person. Then come and offer your sacrifice to God. When you are on the way to the court with your adversary, settle your differences quickly. Otherwise, your accuser may hand you over to the judge, who will hand you over to an officer, and you will be thrown in prison. And if that happens, you surely won't be free again until you have paid the last penny. You have also heard that our ancestors were told, "You must not break your vows. You must carry out the vows you made to the Lord." But I say, do not make any vows. Do not say, "By heaven," because heaven is God's throne. And do not say, "By the earth," because the earth is his footstool. And do not say, "By Jerusalem," for Jerusalem is the city of the great King. Do not even say, "By my head," for you can't turn one hair white or black. Just say a simple, "Yes, I will," or "No, I won't." And anything beyond this is from the evil one. I've chosen that version because I feel it's the New Living Translation, and I feel it uses much easier language to understand than some of the other translations. In Deuteronomy, as the first of the descendants of those rescued from Egypt are about to enter the promised land, God invites them to renew their covenant commitment. In our Matthew reading, Jesus continues to teach his disciples. We sometimes overlook the fact that a disciple, in the simplest sense, is someone who accepts a discipline. And here he teaches them about the need to discipline thoughts and feelings so that right behavior follows naturally, that thoughts and feelings and actions must all be aligned in the direction of Jesus. He challenged his disciples, and he challenges us, not to live so much by the letter of the law, but by its spirit of love, forgiveness, and reconciliation. We are asked to consider our relationships with one another and to deal positively with struggles and conflict in our lives, both as individuals and in the wider community, including the church. To trust in God to help us to resolve issues as they arise, to be reconciled to those people that we have hurt or have hurt us. The screen shows a picture of a sculpture by the Irish artist Maurice Harron, called "Hands Across the Divide." It stands in Carlisle Square in Londonderry, Northern Ireland, part of our UK, which for years experienced violence, bloodshed, and division. Those hands are not quite touching, but they are reaching out. Jesus' teaching about anger reminds us that reconciliation is an essential part of community life. Reconciliation doesn't mean we all agree. It means we find ways of disagreeing agreeably. We probably all know families where an incident, be it recent or in the past, has caused a rift which has not been resolved. Sometimes many years have gone by. In life, there will always be people and situations that are difficult. Sadly, we live in a divided world, a world where division and unrest seem to be rife. Justin Welby, Archbishop of Canterbury, said in his speech on reconciliation, "Reconciliation doesn't mean we all agree. It means we find ways of disagreeing, perhaps very passionately, but loving each other deeply at the same time and being deeply committed to each other. That's the challenge for the church if we are actually going to speak to our society, which is increasingly divided in many different ways. Reconciliation is about our relationships with God and with each other. It involves people, communities, and nations learning to live together with deeply held differences in a spirit of love and respect. It is to work for justice and seek truth in the light of God's mercy and peace. For Christians, this is not optional. It's the very heart of the gospel. As we are reconciled in Jesus, we now share this gift of God with each other and the whole human family. Reconciliation transforms the way we live, with the inevitable conflict life brings, while itself bringing us into conflict with all that excludes and diminishes people and communities. On the journey of reconciliation, enemies become friends, and hope replaces despair. The Bible and Jesus always point to God. If we read the Bible and follow Jesus' teaching, they will keep us on the right course. People and experiences can knock us off course, but we can always turn back to God. We are, all of us, infinitely precious in God's sight. That needs to be a bedrock value in all our relationships. Our love for God can be the only response of beloved children towards their loving parent. We love because he first loved us. This was true for the Israelites on the verge of entering the promised land, because of all that God had done for their parents' generation. It is even more so for us as Christians, because of all that God has done for us in Jesus Christ. Amen.